Hello everyone, welcome to ProdEgyIAS, and today again we are here with another important topic, and the topic is sociology and common sense knowledge. So let me start this class with a very small question. You might have heard people saying boys will be boys, or poor people are poor because they are lazy, or married people are always happier than the single ones. So all of us in our everyday lives encounter such statements, right? These statements sound very simple, even logical also at times, and often convincing. This is what we call common sense knowledge. This is what we call common sense knowledge. It is based on ordinary experience, tradition, and inherited beliefs as well. But here's the catch: sociology is not about simply accepting what appears to be true. Sociology questions, it investigates, and seeks evidence. And this is why we say sociology is different from the common sense. So let us discuss what exactly is common sense knowledge. Common sense knowledge is like the folk wisdom of society. It is what we grow up hearing from parents, from our neighbors, friends, and popular culture around. For example, men are naturally stronger, so they should be the breadwinners of the family. Women are naturally nurturing, so they should rear children. And the caste determines ability and intelligence. At first sight, these kinds of statements seem to be very fit to our everyday observations. But sociology warns us. Appearances can be deceptive. Common sense often hides biases, it hides prejudices, and these are half truths. They may be contradictory also. For instance, one proverb may say opposite attracts, while another says birds of a feather flock together. So, which one is correct among these two? So, common sense doesn't explain this. Then, sociology steps in to test such claims. And what is sociology? Sociology is moving beyond common sense. It's a step ahead of common sense. Unlike common sense, sociology is systematic, it is critical, and it is scientific in nature. It doesn't settle for people say so or it has been always this way. Instead, it uses three things. First, it uses concepts like role, norm, institution, social structure. Second, it uses methods like surveys, participant observation, case studies, statistics of the society. And third, very important, it uses evidence, which is verifiable data. It is not assumptions. So think of this in a way like common sense is like reading just the headlines of a newspaper, and sociology is like investigating the entire article, checking the sources, understanding the context, and comparing the perspective of that topic. Now we'll discuss why common sense can mislead us, how common sense mislead us actually. I'll give you some examples like marriage and happiness. Common sense says married people are happier, but sociological research shows happiness depends on quality of marriage, social support, economic conditions, and individual personality of the two people getting married. So marriage alone doesn't guarantee happiness, although nothing guarantees happiness, and marriage will never, but still it is a sociological fact, so we should study in the same manner. Another example can be of gender roles. Common sense assumes that men are aggressive, women are gentle. But this is not the case today. There are different perspectives to that. Today, in some societies, women are dominant and practical, while men are emotional. Just the opposite of our common sense, which I discussed above. There can be another religion and natural events. Among the Hopi Indians of North America, it's an example for you. The common sense belief was that rain clouds are gods. So they used to dance to make them happy. So rain dances were performed there to make them happy. But rainfall completely is explained through science that it happens due to atmospheric pressure and condensation, not any ritual, right? So, what looks natural here is often a social construction. Now, types of common sense thinking. We'll discuss the common sense thinking. There are usually two types, two forms. First is naturalistic explanations. These assume that events can be explained purely by biology or nature. Now, there are various kinds of common sense thinking. It often usually of two forms. First is naturalistic explanations. These naturalistic explanations assume that events can be explained purely by biology or nature. For an example, it is natural that women rear children because they give birth. They usually take care of the children because they give birth to their children. So sociology rejects it completely. It argues that child rearing, it means upbringing of a child, is influenced by culture, social policy, family structures, and economics, not just biology. Second is individualistic explanations. These blame or credit the individual alone. For example, a person is poor because he is lazy or bad with money. But again, sociology rejects this. It says poverty is a structural issue rooted in unemployment, inequality, lack of education, and systematic barriers, and so on. So, sociology always looks at the bigger picture, at a bigger canvas. Now, how sociology breaks away from common sense? Sociology is not satisfied with surface explanations, it is deeper. Common sense is superficial. Sociology asks deeper questions like, why is this belief so common? Who benefits from this belief? What evidence do we have to support or reject it? Right? Peter Berger puts it brilliantly. The first wisdom of sociology is this: things are not what they seem. When sociology examines an issue, it brings light to unseen patterns and hidden structures. It compels us to question even our most cherished beliefs. Yes, of course. So, what's the final takeaway in this class? Common sense may sometimes can give quick answers, but it is often partial, inconsistent, biased, and superficial. Sociology provides us systematic, scientific, and critical knowledge based on evidences, based on research, right, and based on empirical data. Sociology frees us from ignorance and helps us to see society in a new light. So, next time you hear someone say, this is just how things are, always remember that sociology teaches us to ask, but why? Is this really so? And what is the evidence behind it? So, this questioning spirit is the hallmark of a true sociologist. So, thank you so much. We'll again meet with another topic in the Sociology Optional of UPSC. Till then, stay tuned to ProdEgyIAS.